so pretty. Just coming out to take a quick peek at my flowers out here, see if the sunflowers are still growing. It's hard to tell because there's so much stuff crammed into that area, but hopefully we'll start to see some gigantic sunflower stalks pretty soon. I do see, man, they're probably about 2 feet tall now. That's pretty awesome. It's really full and lush right now, but it has been pretty dry the last, oh gosh, probably 10 days. I think we had one day of about a 10-minute rain, and other than that it has been pretty dry. Today started out pretty interesting. Mark has today off, and we got up, and of course we have 2 washers and 2 dryers, which is basically just a carryover from when we had, you know, a ton of children in the house. Now that we only have 3, we probably could get away without it, but I've become accustomed to it. So one of our washers has been giving us a little bit of trouble. So anyways, he started working on that. He had to work on that for a couple of hours, but I think that's fixed. And he's going to be getting up on the roof and doing a final, there's a piece where we heat with wood exclusively. We don't have any kind of heating system in the house other than wood stoves. We have 2 of them, one on one side of the house, one on the other. They work fantastic, but it requires, you know, cutting wood. The first year we were here, he did that 100% by hand. I mean, went out, cut the wood, brought it back, used, you know, an axe, and that is the way we heated the entire winter. He used to say, you know, you heat yourself twice. So once doing the work to get the wood cut, and once when you put it in your wood stove. Then we got a wood splitter, and we've used that for several years. And this last winter, I made the executive decision that we have a young man who rents our fields for his cattle, and he also cuts wood for people and sells it. And I decided, you're not going to do wood this year, we're gonna have him do it for us. And it was so fabulous. So we've already got that set up. He's gonna do that again for us this year. So that takes one load of work off of Mark's shoulders, which is really nice because there's always something to do around here. So if you can share the load either with your family or with someone else, or, you know, bless his family. I mean, we pay him to do that, and that blesses his family. So we try and do that as much as we can. So we're not worried about the wood, but I am hoping that Mark will be able to get a wood shed built. Right now we just keep it covered in tarps. But anyways, to get back to my original point, he has to get up and finish the top where the pipe comes up, kind of like a chimney, and fix that. And then the roof will be 100% done. I mean, the roofing itself is done. It's just that wood stove portion. And then he told me after that, he is planning to take care of the tree that we said we were gonna do, then we weren't gonna do, then we were gonna do. So that's the goal. I don't know that we'll actually get to all of that today, and if we don't, that's okay. We'll just put it on the agenda for the next day. I did a little bit of harvesting from the garden, pulled some squash, I sliced it really thin, put it on the dehydrator. I had a couple of tomatoes, not from the garden, but they were on the verge of, probably in the next day or 2, they were not gonna be good anymore. So I sliced those really thin, put them on there, and then we had some pineapple and I put that on there as well. I seasoned the tomatoes and the squash with a little bit of salt, pepper, and a little bit of our fresh or our dried basil. And it is currently humming away in the dehydrator. Other than that, we're just gonna focus on those projects today. Bryson is a member of his school band, and wow, this is a giant rock hanging out in my driveway. So he is super focused on getting his band paperwork, so he's been running down to the mailbox every single day as early as he can, hoping that there will be some paperwork in there. So I keep telling him, honey, not yet, but he's hoping it'll happen. And then we have started the actual planning of our kitchen remodel. So Mark has done a couple of different diagrams with the kind of the layout of where we want things, how we're planning to do that. And that's kind of exciting, looking at backsplash ideas and cabinet ideas. And I know that I want some open shelving. I'm trying to decide exactly where. I don't want a ton of it. And part of that is because when you live out in the country in an area where everything around you is dirt roads, okay? So we don't live off of a paved road. We are a mile down a dirt road, and everything around us is dirt roads. It's just really difficult to keep things clean and dust free. There's just a constant issue with that. And so I don't want a ton of things sitting there that constantly looks dirty to me, because that will drive me up the wall. And so I'm trying to figure out kind of the balance between, you know, where I want some open shelving, what I will use it for, all of that. So we do have all our appliances in place. We needed a new refrigerator. We took care of that. Our stove, I would eventually like to replace it, but right now it's not that old. And so we'll go ahead and keep that. And the same goes for our dishwasher. Sorry, I came down to try and beat Bryson to the checking the mail today, and it's not here yet. And so, yeah, it's kind of a fun process. One of our daughters is kind of sketching out her ideas. She very much enjoys doing any kind of, you know, home interior decorating type planning stuff. Another one of our daughters called me this morning, super excited. She's been having some car issues and she got that taken care of, so yay for her. And she's in the process of getting a job with the United States Postal Service, so we're super excited for her in that area, and hoping to see that move forward. I talked to another one yesterday that has one of the grandbabies, and that was really, actually I talked to both with children. Yesterday was a big day to talk to my kids, because I'm horrible at calling, okay? I don't like the telephone. If they call me, I will talk to them, but I don't generally call them. I always feel like I'm interrupting somebody when they're busy. I'll text you all day long, because I know you can text whenever you're available, whenever you're free. But as far as a phone call, I always it's just something about me that I just always feel like I'm bothering somebody. So I tend to not call. So they're finally, after all these years, figuring me out and going, okay, mom's not gonna call. I'll just call her when I have the free time. And if she's busy, she can tell me. But even if she's busy, she'll probably make time for me. So, anyways, I got to talk to them yesterday. One took the kids to a water park and they had lots of summer fun. And the other one was hanging out in her backyard doing a little bit of gardening, which is always exciting when you see one of your kids enjoying something that you enjoy so much. But I hope where you guys are that you're doing well. Our weather has been fantastic. Not super hot. We have had quite a bit of humidity, but that's normal for here this time of year. Really, that's normal for here most times during the year. But right now, we tend to have a lot of really high humidity days. And so you know, your body adjusts to it. I remember when we first moved here thinking, oh my gosh, I just can't breathe. It feels like you're drinking your air, and it was so thick. And now most of the time I'm like, is it humid today? I don't know. And the kids will be like, oh, it's so humid. And I'm like, really? I don't feel it. But when I notice it is when I'm out in the garden working for a couple hours, and then I start to be like, whew, you know, you're sweating more than you should be, you feel really dehydrated, and staying on top of that can be difficult. How pretty. Lily's gonna come out and get the lawn mowed. I told you guys. Oh, I heard a little creature over there that hissed at me. I don't like that. Lily's gonna come out and mow the lawn. I told you guys that we're kind of at that point in the year where the weather is sort of perfect for the lawn. And so we're having to mow at least twice a week. So it's been a lot of Wednesdays, and then if we're lucky, we can stretch it out till Sunday. And then if we're lucky, we can stretch it out till the next Wednesday.